not good evening yet. Okay, good evening everyone. Dr. Richard O'Malley, Superintendent of the Florence One Schools, here this evening to share with you some information given our recent circumstances surrounding not only our nation, but now as it moves to South Carolina and the closing of our schools. Joining me first this evening is Ms. Michelle McBride and Ms. Haley Cagle to talk a little bit about the academics and the e-learning. I want to start off this evening telling you that we are coming live from South Florence High School, our brand new TV studio. That's Ms. Mack cheering in the background. But joining us this evening in the control room is the teacher, Ms. Meredith Taylor. And we have about 6 students joining us, doing all of the things, making sure that you see them. There is Amelia Sproles, the 9th grader. Raise your hand. We have Tori Mixon, a senior. Hamilton Sproles, an 11th grader. LaRonda Severance, 10th grader. Aubrey Crawford, a 12th grader, a senior. And Trenton Fowler, an 11th grader. Thank you so much for making this happen for us. We are so proud of you and what you do, and we're so excited that you had this opportunity to have a television studio here in South Florence that provides these types of academic opportunities for our students. So thank you again for joining us. I want to start by first thanking the amazing staff that we have here in Florence One Schools. I think it was purely on showcase today. Everyone from our principals to our teachers. I'll tell you, our bus drivers were really killing it today. Yeah. They were up early and out, delivering food, providing internet service to our students, our teacher assistants, our nurses, giving medicine, returning medicine to parents, and then our guidance counselors and everyone in between, our custodians, really trying to make this first day of school closure really work like it was a normal school day the best we could. And I just want to thank them so much. I was asked by one of the news reporters today how to give it a grade of how today went, and I just said A+, just wouldn't do it justice. Magnificent day by everyone to implement our plans. And that's what we're here to talk about tonight. The governor has, as you are well aware, yesterday closed all schools in South Carolina from March 16th to March 31st currently. We want to share with you our plans that are being implemented in 3 different areas: the academics, the technology, and then our culinary services that are delivering some of our food and providing some of our breakfast, lunch, and dinners. So what we're going to do tonight is start off with the academics, and that's why I have these 2 fine young ladies joining me this evening, and they're going to share a little bit about some of the things that are going on. We'll do this for about a half hour, and then we'll be taking your questions that you post on the feed. We have Miss Melissa Rollins there. If we can get a quick picture of her, she's always in the back. There you go. Where is she? Can we see her? No, we can't see her, but she'll be posting the questions on the screen after we give a little bit of information to the community about what's going on. So I also want to mention a couple of things right on the outset. All high school sports, middle school sports, all activities have been postponed. We will readdress those at some point in time, probably after the spring break period of April 10th. So those things, we're hoping that we'll be able to get back to a normal schedule sometime in April, and that there'll be some time for those activities to continue. But in the meantime, no practices, no competitions will be occurring as per the governor's order. We will still have a spring break. I know that's, despite all the things that are happening, we'll still have spring break. As you can see, that's a popular topic. We will go all the way through with our e-learning plan, all the way to spring break. We'll talk about some things along those lines as well. But I wanted to share that at the beginning. That's always a topic and probably going to be one of the questions. Hopefully it won't be a question now. So with that said, I'm going to start with Ms. McBride. She's the Assistant Superintendent for pre-K to 5. This is her day 11 in the new position. So, the honeymoon was over probably after 4 hours in. She works for me. And so we want to share a little bit about the e-learning plan, some of the things about the marking period, some of the questions that maybe you've been receiving, and maybe you start off saying what a great day it is as you visit some of the schools.
I went around in some of the schools this morning and everything was taking place as normal. We were answering telephones, we were helping parents with Chromebooks, we were even giving out textbooks. Parents, I want to give you some tidbit of information because now you're the facilitator of learning in your home. All assignments for secondary and elementary schools will post at 8 o'clock every day. So make sure your students are logging into Google Classroom. That's where the assignments will post. And try to adhere to their instructional times. We have those instructional times in place so that parents don't have to do all of the interactions with students. At this time, all of our teachers are online monitoring and providing feedback to our students. So please make sure that they're logging in at those times. If they're not, parents, you're going to have to assist them with the assignments. But just make sure that they're logging in.
And that was 8 o'clock a.m., right?
A.m.
Okay.
8 o'clock a.m.
I actually like this, being a host.
Yeah.
This is kind of nice.
And also, try to make sure they stay on a normal school schedule. I have sons myself. I had one of them that tried to stay up until 11 o'clock last night. He has to get up early so he can log in. Keep a normal routine for your students while we're having our e-learning days. Make sure you're checking all assignments for students. They're going to tell you, your child, we didn't have anything in Google Classroom. Don't believe them. Don't believe them. There are assignments that have to be turned in on time. Make sure that you're asking them about their assignments. You want to closely monitor Parent Portal. Grades will be given during this time. Students, you're not off the hook. So make sure you're checking Parent Portal for grades that are posted to your child's grade book. And parents, I can't say this enough. Please actively monitor your students during this e-learning period because learning has transformed. It's in the house, but we are still closely engaged in instruction. Teachers are the facilitators, and parents, you are the co-facilitators at home. And please make sure that your children are asking questions during this time. This is a time for them to communicate with their teacher virtually during this segment of time. So please make sure that you are actively engaged and students are prepared.
Marking period, that end?
It's different. Tim Rod, we closed out the third grading period. For our regular traditional schools, the grading period will end on Wednesday.
March 18th.
Okay. Anything else? You know, we have a website, Florence One Schools, and we can find all this information on our website. We put it right on the homepage. There's just lots of great information there. We expect everyone to go there. We have a lot of social media accounts, and please follow us on Facebook. Melissa, who's again hiding in the back there doing things, she's smiling. She's been a part of that. As Pam, Little McDaniel, is also pushing out our newsletters and trying to push out some information that's happening not only in our schools but in our community. But you think that's elementary wise, and first day was great.
Great. And schools are doing a fantastic job of communicating. So you should be hearing from your schools either by Parent Link, Facebook, the app, our district app. So they are communicating with you all. And if you have questions, please don't hesitate calling the school because we have personnel there to answer the calls.
All right, before we move over to the middle school and high school again, let's talk about our nurses. Again, fabulous nurses. Led by Beth Holzbach, who is our district nurse, who's really been coordinating a lot of the items that we've been dealing with. The screening tools coming into our schools today, everyone had to be screened, and her foresight to get that tool ready to go was fantastic. Our nurses will be this week working in all of our buildings from about 7:30 to 2:30. If your child has medicine that was in the school, you should have received a phone call today to pick up your child's medication. But if you have any questions, the nurses are there. I will say that on our website as well are some really key contact information, whether it's transportation or food service all the main lines for all the schools. We'll talk about the culinary services later on, but I really wanted to do that. We are also working with our local hospitals, providing some telehealth moving forward. So you should hear more about that as it comes forward, to try to partner with some of our local hospitals on some telehealth as we move forward. But I think that takes care of the elementary, some of the nursing things that are happening. Now let's shift over to secondary. Ms. Haley Cagle, she's actually the Director of School Improvement. Is that your official title?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, we could have changed it right here on the
Yeah,
air.
we could.
Live.
Let's just do that.
But she will, right now, she's handling coordination with our middle schools and high schools. And she'll talk a little bit about what's going on there. Is a little bit more complicated given the transition in our secondary. So first of all, thanks for all you do and all your help, and share with our community some of the things you have.
All right, well, we'll start with our middle schools. We do have some quarter classes. So if you are a student who has a quarter class, you should expect to have an exam still, or some sort of a final project today or tomorrow, or possibly even Wednesday. However, you're all excited to know midterms have been waived.
Did we really make that decision?
We did, we did. No midterms.
Told me what to do.
No midterms. So midterms have been waived, so you don't have to worry about those. However, we do expect you to have a little more accountability than some of the elementary students as far as signing in every day, because you're such great independent learners. So the exciting news is the no midterms, but we are going to expect you to sign in every day for your attendance. Each day, just like in the elementary school, your teachers should post an assignment by 8 o'clock. If for some reason there is no assignment posted, be sure and contact your school, because they should be on there every day by 8 o'clock. Our teachers did a great job today. I have no doubt that that's going to continue. When you get your assignment, they have hours for you to work. From 10 to 12, the teachers will be online, and then again, they're online from 2 to 4. If you have questions, that is a great time for you to ask them to these teachers, and they're more than willing to help you through these assignments. There will be something each day that you must submit. When you submit your assignment, that counts you as present. You have until 10 o'clock. That doesn't mean you need to wait till 9:59 though to get it done. You know, you can do that earlier during the day when the teachers are online, and then you're finished, and then you can kind of do what you want to do the rest of the afternoon. But you must submit that day before 10 o'clock. Now, the following day, teachers aren't always going to stay up till 10 to do their attendance. So your attendance will actually be taken the next morning during their hours. So you may not see your attendance. If you did not, parents, I want you to be aware of that too. If your student didn't do their assignment or didn't turn it in that afternoon, like if they didn't do their assignment today, then you may not get an attendance notification until tomorrow morning. However, for today, all attendance was present. We know it was the first day. Everybody was getting adjusted. It was new. So for today, everything and everyone was counted present. Attendance is actually going to start tomorrow. So make sure that you're getting online and you're checking those courses and making sure that everything is in there that you need. We are going to be a little more flexible with the elementary attendance. Michelle, do you want to talk about that?
So for elementary, we're going to look at the work that they've turned in, and we're going to do attendance on a 3-day basis. So we have 3 days to look at these assignments, make sure that students are actively engaged on their Chromebooks, get their assignments, and then mark their attendance. For our kindergarten to first grade, which they have take-home packets. So these students, they are a little bit different from our other students that are doing digital. So for these students, they were turning their packets every Friday or the following Monday. Their attendance will be a week from the previous week. So teachers would take attendance on Monday for the entire week from the previous week. So beginning this week, teachers would take attendance on Monday and count the students present for all the work that they've completed.
Can you mention real quick, you mentioned the packets, so tell us a little bit more about that, and then forecast what we're going to be doing maybe possibly in the coming weeks on that.
Okay. Kindergarten through first grade is unique because they do have some devices, but we don't have enough for everyone to take home and for the kids to be responsible for them. So we've developed some educational packets that go home with our students. Teachers were very proactive last week and got packets together for 5 days. What we are asking parents is to make sure that they communicate with their classroom teachers, their child's teacher, about packets and how they want to return the packets. So we have 2 days designated. We have Fridays and Mondays designated to turn in packets. But as a parent, you can contact your child's teacher and say, I don't have transportation to get to the school to return a packet. We have our meal buses that are going around. If you communicate that with your child's teacher, we'll make sure that we have packets on the bus for the following week, and parents can also return packets at those locations in the community.
One thing I did forget, for you guys that are starting a new class fourth quarter, your fourth quarter teachers should be emailing you the code for that class for the Google Classroom. So go ahead and be on the lookout. We've asked them to start sending those out tomorrow. So tomorrow or Wednesday, you should get your code for your new course that starts on Thursday. If you do not get that code, call your school or email your teachers and let them know. We are here to help you at all sites. That's one of the things we want you to feel confident that if you do call, that we are here to help you and to help make this as easy as we can for you, as long as we're holding you to that standard of being accountable and getting your work done.
You want to go to question number 1?
No, we're going to do questions at the end. We're still rolling. You're getting good at this, I might add. We want to make sure that there's an important point that we contact the school. If you have any questions or something comes up, there isn't an assignment posted or there's some confusion and you can't get in touch with the teacher in some way, make sure you contact the school. Don't let multiple days go past where you're not contacting the school. Again, I want to mention teachers have office hours that are designated for times so they can work with the students or answer questions. Elementary, 9 to 11, and then 1 to 3 every day. Secondary, 10 to 12, and 2 to 4. And those, again, are on our website, right on the homepage. You can see a lot of information regarding those items. So I appreciate anything else from the e-learning academics that you forgot?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, listen, it was great. I'm sure I'm going to bring you back, but there's a handsome young gentleman that looks really good that's going to be joining us. And if you could just step to the side, and we're going to talk about technology now. I'm going to slide over so we can. This is what live TV is. She takes her microphone.
Oh, sorry about that.
So I'm going to put mine on
You
the
put
chair.
yours
I
there.
forgot
so
that it was-
return, and I'm just going to slide over just a little bit for Kyle. As Kyle is getting set, Kyle Jones, he's our Chief Technology Officer. He's going to share with us a little bit about what's been going on. You know, when we first started, Kyle, we said that the Imagine Forward is the name for our technology initiative. Who would have thought that Imagine Forward happened today? So,
I agree.
we were thinking, what we were trying to prepare for 10 years down the road, but that preparation and all the work you and your team and everyone has done has really paid off, because today really showcased that.
I agree. I think we had a great day in Florence One Schools. We showcased what we had been preparing for. We're part of the 10 districts in the state of South Carolina. We have a cohort for e-learning. We've been preparing since the beginning of the school year. Didn't think it'd be quite like today, but it's good that we have maintained the continuity of services for our instructional programs, and we've maintained our services for all students and teachers throughout the district. I think that's the big accomplishment for us.
All right, so just a couple things to make parents reassured. Our Gaggle, Go Guardian, those filters, those are all in place.
Correct.
As we go
So
forward?
all our devices, they're at home. They're still content filtered. We have our alerts still in place. So administrators and school staff are getting those where needed. So we want to make sure that our students stay protected on and off campus. Absolutely.
Okay. Talk a little bit about Wi-Fi, where it's located, what we've done with our buses, some things you have coming down the road.
Absolutely. So we wanted to utilize our buses, which we expanded across the entire fleet and added unlimited data. Our goal was really to pick up the instructional time to and from school so that we could help mom and dad when the students get home. All the homework was hopefully complete. But our buses are parked throughout the community for our students who may not have internet access. When we surveyed the school district, we were at about a 95% level, so we're trying to close that gap, if you will. We're providing those services each school day. We're also taking the feedback as we get that from our principals and our transportation department, geocoding those locations, and then we'll continuously probably reposition and tweak that. We did 13 locations today throughout the district, and I think there was some additional news coverage as early as tonight that went live and showcased a few of our students utilizing those resources.
How great are those bus drivers? I mean,
they were phenomenal.
Being out there all day to make sure our kids had the internet, and they'll be out there again tomorrow. And I think I just got a text that the last bus rolled in
correct
right before our live broadcast here.
Just a few minutes, up early and working late.
Absolutely. Can you talk a little bit about for those parents that may have seen Spectrum offering some free Wi-Fi and some things that we're trying to do? Absolutely.
So we engaged our Spectrum contacts today, and we have a live 1-800 number, if you will. And Charter / Spectrum is offering broadband and Wi-Fi for 60 days for free. So who can really turn that down? And that's for new K-12 onboarding of new clients, I guess. But there's no contract, so really no strings attached, and that's free for 60 days. So I would engage if you don't have those internet services at home, please engage those services. Previous to that, we also had an AT&T plan on the website, so both those are available. They have $5 and $10 plan options, but by all means, I think we want to showcase our Spectrum offering, and again, that is free for 60 days. So we want to make sure that we can connect as many people over this time period to maintain that instructional day.
Yeah, we have on there on our website something about AT&T offering stuff. Tell us what the little obstacle we kind of ran into today.
So we actually wanted to get a hands on some more MiFis that we could utilize, a little device that would provide that internet hotspot. And I believe our federal government came in and snapped up some devices, so we have about 8,000 on back order nationwide. So we're just continuing to think outside the box, and anything that we can come up with to offer our students and increase connectivity, we're gonna do our due diligence on that.
Another quick shout out to Representative Terry Alexander. He's been trying to help us with our Spectrum representatives.
Absolutely.
He had called me, and I wanted to thank him publicly because he's really trying to work on making sure we have internet access in some of our areas in Florence. So if you know someone who doesn't have internet access, they don't know what to do, you can contact us. Technology, the phone number's on the website. I'd love to throw up Kyle's cell phone number, but he probably wouldn't be happy with that.
Thank you.
But call someone, a school, and we'll work with them. So if you know someone, tell someone. We're trying to, as a community, work together to provide the resources for our students across the district. Sometimes kids went home on Friday, they may not have had a charger or any of those other things that
Right.
go along with the Chromebook. Can you speak a little bit about
Absolutely. So we want to ensure that there was anything left out that you immediately contact us. We do, as he alluded to, we do have a support hotline. We also have a e-tech email address, and we have an eCTC technology instructional support helpline and email address that you can contact as well. So if you left out a charger, if you need some help with the device, something doesn't power on, you're having trouble with a lesson or an activity, please contact us. We're here to help. We're manning and have people dedicated to those resources. So we look forward to that continued engagement, and we really just want to ensure that instructional day goes smoothly for all our students and teachers.
All right. Anything else you think we left out?
I think we're just really committed to continuously improving. We're kind of designing, if you will, as we go. And technology is often like that. You may have seen earlier today we had just a few minutes where we had some Google Classroom load balancing throughout the nation, and these things happen in technology. We're used to kind of monitoring and adjusting and rolling with the punches. So I think at the end of the day, though, it was a successful day.
I think I started off by talking about Imagine Forward, so I'm thinking that we may have to change that name now because that's sort of going to be in the past now. We're going to have to think of even being better. I think, well, we started this morning, and as many of you probably know, we were ahead of, I'll go ahead and say it, most people will expect that from me, but we were ahead of everyone in this state and across the country, and I think that's because all the planning and everything we've been doing is about making this possibility happen. And unfortunately, we had to use it in this circumstance, but it just goes to show you all this planning, whether it was putting the Wi-Fi on the buses or going one-to-one, how important this really can be for our community, and I think that was on showcase today.
I agree. I'm glad we did the work behind the scenes and get it ready.
And I appreciate your help as well. I've never sat this close to a Gamecock before, but it's been great. So I appreciate that. Let me talk a little bit about the next item, which is culinary services. Part of what we do in the school district is to provide meals to our students, and some cases that's an important part of their day. So we wanted to continue that, and not only I talked a lot about our bus drivers, but our culinary services department did an awesome job today, whether they were on the bus, cooking early on to make sure breakfast happened at 8 o'clock this morning. But again, Maya and her team and everyone working in the kitchens today are delivering food. Thank you. It's been great, and we look forward to getting even better moving forward. On our website, again, is a lot of the locations for both delivery of breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Correct.
So you can
three
find
times.
3 times. So we're going to be distributing food not only within our schools and those sites, but delivering, and the bus drivers will be handling those items as well. Breakfast, just for everyone to know, those locations are also on our website. So you have those. Breakfast will be from 8 to 9:30. Lunch will be served 11:30 to 1:15. And then dinner will be served from 4 to 5:30. Now, again, I'll remind you, this is all grab and go. We're not having those locations serve as dining halls. So if you'd like, you can park and come in and pick up your grab and go bag, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Or we also have the ability to deliver to your car. It's our way of, we even want to be better than Chick-fil-A. I mean, I think they do a good job being efficient. And so whether you're coming in or we're delivering it, or you're going through our locations at our schools, which are also posted online, the specific locations where you could pick up the food are posted. And if you have any questions, we keep pushing those out to our social media accounts as well.
I think we have some great customer service today, and it's important for our kids to have a healthy breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And we're serving everyone. Just so you know, if you have 3 children in the district and they all attend 3 different schools, you could pick one of the schools to go to every day. We are ensuring that we're feeding the community. If mom, granddad, uncle come with you to pick up the food and they would like something, we're going to provide that as well. We're not going to turn anyone down. I think our job right now is to be a valuable resource to our community, not just to our students, but our community. And I think that's what we're trying to do.
I think that's great.
And so, look for those yellow school buses coming around, could be delivering packets as well, but also our food service. And I think that's an important part. Anything I might have forgotten about the food service?
Just know that at the school locations, there are hot meals.
Okay, so at the school locations, there are hot meals, but when we deliver them on the bus, they're bagged.
Yep.
And I think that's self-explanatory. So if you've been on a school bus, that's self-explanatory. So we've gone over the academics, the elementary technology, culinary services, our website, social media. Continue to follow us on all those social media accounts and our website for the latest information. We'll continue to push information out. Before we start taking questions, I do want to put in another quick plug in. As if you follow this on the news and what's going on in our country, one of the most important things as we start to sort of come in and not leave our house or not have large social gatherings, I would encourage everyone in Florence to support our local businesses because as we have to do certain things, our local businesses need our support. So you may not want to go to a restaurant because you don't want to be around more than 10 people. I think that was the announcement today. But there's nothing wrong with calling them and maybe calling ahead. Our local businesses drive our local economy. They're a big part of supporting us and our schools, and I just want to put that in there as we go through these coming weeks, and we want to make sure that we support all aspects of our economy locally. And so if you can be hesitant, anything you do to support our local businesses, that would be important as well.
That's great.
All right, let's see if we can actually do this. We'll take some questions. Melissa is working and monitoring online. She is going to do her best, or maybe tomorrow we'll do that. So we'll see. Sorry for the glasses. It's tough getting old. But our first question, okay? Kids who have returned from homebound and have 30 days to turn in everything, do these days count against them? I'll stop there. I don't think you girls want to join us?
Yeah, come on in.
Maybe we should let them take the chair. What do you think, young man?
Absolutely.
Hell he is. So let's just say that we have been working with the state officials, and we really feel that as we go through this, there's a lot of unknowns. I don't feel whether there are days and whether there are assignments or whatever it may be will count against anyone. We're going to do our best to work through any of those items. But did you want to add?
Right. I actually talked to some people today about that, and we are not going to count those days against them, and there's going to be a case-by-case decision on a lot of these students. They should be hearing from their case manager and from their homebound teachers within the next day or two. I think Mr. Denny is meeting with the case managers tomorrow morning, and they're going to make some good decisions about that. So you should be looking to hear from them.
Yes, so the same thing. We don't want this to be punitive against the
Correct.
students. We want to make sure that we're transitioning to a digital program, but also supporting our students academically.
The next question says, what about prom and graduation? I think that was Haley and my daughter that wrote that in. Having seniors, those are important issues. But I will tell you, all I can say right now is if we do what we have to do now correctly, those things should correct themselves, and we can be hopefully back to school in time where those activities, athletics, and just our normal schedule happen. So right now, the best I can share is that if we continue to follow the guidance provided by us to slow down this virus and stop it from spreading by doing some of the things that we're advised to do, one being school closing, we think that will help, and hopefully those events will come forward. So right now, we're sort of up to March 31st, living in this world that schools are closed and that not having activities. After that, those decisions will be made by probably the state government. And if we have school, we have those events. That's sort of how it works. All right, next question is, how is this working for CDC students? Clinical day students, I think, is
child development.
Child development students, so the preschool program. I think, if I'm understanding correctly, Dr. Creech was also process of putting together packets?
Yes. So Dr. Creech, I spoke with him today. Him and his staff have worked really hard to get packets together today. They should have contacted parents. Parents were able to pick up packets. If you did not get your packets today for child development, they will make a way to get them to you tomorrow.
Okay. All right, the next question is, will the SAT test be rescheduled? I don't think this came from a student. I think it's going to definitely
I think this might be a mom.
This might be one of the moms at home.
That's going to depend, like Dr. O'Malley said, on what happens. As of now, if we're back in school like we plan to be and we hope to be, the answer to that question is yes. All of that will be rescheduled. And the other testing, the other state standardized testing that we have, we'll be hearing more directives from the state about that. So we're kind of waiting to see what happens right now with a lot of that. But hopefully that answer is yes.
So the two parts to that is, so the College Board that we administer, the SAT or ACT,
right.
That just use our facility, we're talking to the College Board. I should say the state is even talking to the College Board whether they're going to cancel everyone or that's a local decision. Right. So we'll find out more about that. The SAT or ACT that we do in-state during school right now is sort of postponed until further development.
Yeah, ACT's already been done, and SAT, they do have another date in April, so we're very hopeful on that.
All right. Looks like we're skipping around here. So what about resource children?
So our resource teachers, they have Google Classroom, and so their resource students are working towards goals and academic goals for each child. Resource teachers have also collaborated with classroom teachers to help bridge some of those gaps that students are missing academically. So on top of resource, we have optional Reach and ESL packets together for our kids in Google Classrooms also. But students must complete their regular assignment for their homeroom teachers before they do their ESL assignments and their Reach assignments. And again, those two are optional assignments.
The students with special needs, that poses a problem in many different ways. The state has sent in a waiver to try to free themselves up from some of the regulations, but right now every regulation that garners and oversees special education is still in effect. So
that's correct.
I think they'll give us some more guidance about making up times, whether it be OT, PT, speech, IEPs and those deadlines, but we won't know until going forward. I would say the best thing we could offer right now is that we can ensure that they're having access to the curriculum and the learning, be in contact with their teacher, and or if they have an assistant or a special ed teacher assigned to them, they can help in some ways as well. But we know that's going to be very problematic, even when school resumes, how to make up some of the lost services and what that'll move forward. But if you have a specific question regarding your child or your child's IEP, again, classroom teacher would be the first person to reach out for, and then Mr. Denny in special needs department would also help as well. All right, next question. What will happen to adult ed? How will students be able to continue working towards their diploma or GED? That's a great question.
That's a great question.
I know you were going to send us softballs, but that is a great question. I know
Ms. Hill is working on figuring something out on how they're going to work towards that with some virtual
correct. I think we'll have
education and some things like that, some flexible learning options, correct. She's in the process of working on that. We certainly don't want to leave anybody behind during this. The whole point is for us not to be leaving people behind, but to be able to continue. So we are looking into that, and you should expect to hear some more things from Pointer and Adult Ed through Ms. Hill shortly.
Okay, all right. There was earlier on a question, somebody missed the most important question. What about spring break? So I'll reiterate that because that has come up. Spring break is still scheduled and will remain April 6th through the 10th. So despite all the chaos in the world, we're still going to have spring break, and that will remain the same as the date on the calendar for this year, April 6th through the 10th. What about IB exams? Again, I was on a conference call today with the state. IB and AP exams are something, and that is something happening all across the country. So we're waiting to get guidance from the federal government. Regarding those and whether they'll be made up or there'll be some reprieve to those regulations. I know the exams are a really important part of the IB program. They're early in May, if I'm correct. So we hope to receive some guidance, but that was definitely a question the state was trying to address with the federal government and those programs, because that's a national concern. Those are programs all across the country. What about Lincoln tests that were supposed to be given this week? Will they be postponed or canceled? I think
canceled.
Canceled. See how we make decisions here? I'm always last. I feel like I'm home. So we are canceling them.
We're canceling them.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Did I not ask you that?
I think you did. Did you put up the spring break question again because you're really fooling with us? Or is somebody really asking it again? Oh, okay. How can students make up work they missed before the district was closed? Can kids take AR tests? I'll maybe shift that over here.
Okay. So makeup work, we're still going to follow the same protocol. You have 5 days to make up your work to get a grade. So that's still going to be in place. And even If your child is sick doing e-learning, if you would notify the teacher that they're sick, they still have 5 days to make up that work.
5 days from when we return to school. So
From the
obviously
child.
they can't turn in the missed work when they're not at school right now. So, but when they return to school, from whatever that last missed day of attendance was, they still will have 5 days. So.
And I think the big theme here is we want to make sure kids are engaged in the academic, but we're going
Right.
to really be trying to work with everyone to make sure
That's
we
right.
all get through this together. And I think that's an important part
Next
here.
one's yours.
AR test. We put a hold on AR tests for right now for our elementary students. We want to get through the first week with curriculum and instruction. We'll revisit that on Wednesday when we meet with principals and discuss whether students will take AR tests at home.
All right. And you want to just tell them, for those that don't know what AR tests are?
That's our accelerated reader program that we do in our elementary schools, where students read a book and then take a digital test.
Very popular.
Very popular.
And with no sports, everyone's going to want to read a book now.
That's
So I
right.
think that's important. Next question. How can we get technical help with Chromebooks? I'm going to turn this over. You have a microphone?
Yeah, I do.
That's like Bob Barker.
Yeah. Come on. So
They don't even know, most of the kids don't even know who that is.
I know. Gave away my age.
several options here. So like we discussed before, we do have a hotline. We have a e-tech email address. We also have staff at each one of our school locations. If you need to grab a charger, if you need to swap out a device, if it's broken or it needs repair, we still have those resources available. We're still doing our bi-weekly pickups for repair, so none of those processes have changed. So we're ready to assist any of the student needs as they come on. So please contact us. We've got somebody kind of manning those resources throughout the instructional day.
And I think after this, we can post some other that contact information up on our website. We'll do on our Facebook account.
Absolutely.
And I know Melissa probably is doing it right now, so hopefully you're seeing those contacts.
Correct. So a lot of good content under our e-learning section on our website. All that is there. We're going to continue to update you daily with those resources.
And so I think we'll kind of make sure we do that in any particular way. But again, don't wait. Call the school. If you have any
Yes.
questions or you don't know where to go or contact, call the school, call the district main number, and we'll point you in the right direction. The next question, will the deadlines for National Honor Society and Beta Club applications be extended? What about service hours? All those requirements, deadlines will be extended, adapted. We're going to be
Correct.
very flexible to ensure our students get all those things that they deserve and that they've been working towards. And I guess once we, more importantly, know when we're going to be back in school, then we'll really have to start answering some of those questions to do that. Next question is, how are teachers finalizing grades for the end of the quarter? And they're typing it as I'm reading it.
Report
And
cards.
report cards.
Well, teachers are going to finalize grades just like they always have. Like the end of the quarter is Wednesday, so that will be the last day for teachers to be putting grades into the grade book for third quarter. Report cards will actually be mailed out March 25th. That was a good question. I should have probably already said that. We are going to be mailing your report cards out on March 25th, so you can be expecting to get third quarter report cards a little bit after that. And fourth quarter will begin on Thursday.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're going to mail the report cards out. So
For all grade levels.
For all
even
grade levels,
kindergarten.
yes.
kindergarten through grade 12. and
Correct.
So they'll be coming in the mail. We'll be doing a bulk mailing. So we've even thought about how we're going to deliver those as well.
So parents might want to get to the mailbox first.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Will the district offer live online classes? I'll start off by saying, listen, we started with this e-learning platform, and I think it really launched itself well. I think you'll see in the coming days and weeks that teachers will be taking things to the next level and start
Right.
exploring. Did you want to share maybe?
So we've heard back from teachers. They've actually done a Google chat with their students, and they have done some live instruction with students from home. So hopefully
Yeah.
that's a path that we can take in the future.
Yeah, it's exciting because I think within 24 hours, what we have done to get, as a district, to get this up and running, the teachers, the principals, the district staff, instructional assistants, media specialists, everybody has really kind of banded together. And I'm excited about what's to come and what our teachers are going to put forth and out there for our students during this time. So, we hope the teachers get really creative.
I know some students have been struggling today with some math and so those types of content areas are going to require maybe some live instruction or a video or some
Flip classrooms.
Yeah, we're excited about watching those things start to happen.
So the good news is we have till at least March 31st to make this even
Correct.
better every day. So I think you'll see more of that as teachers get comfortable, and as we get through the days ahead, we'll be expanding the type of learning environments and platforms for all of our students. Are there tutors available? I don't believe there are tutors available. I think right now
Teachers can assist as much as
teachers
possible.
are the main deliverer of instruction, but we don't have or offering currently any tutors for any grade levels.
No. But there are people within the school that if you're struggling, if you're having a hard time and your teacher's not maybe able to assist you, call and talk to a guidance counselor. Maybe they can give you some other ideas or options.
Okay.
If you have a particular instructional activity or a content area that you need some additional assistance on, we do have those ECTC resources that are available to answer questions as well. So you may want to reach out as you're completing those activities.
And this is the important part of why the teachers have office hours. If you know your child is struggling with fractions or something, let the teacher be aware of that. They only know now from the communication that they receive. So knowing our teachers, they'd be more than willing to try to understand. There's lots of Khan Academy videos or other things that
YouTube
videos that our kids are probably very much familiar with.
Math instructional YouTube videos.
So I think just letting the teacher know what your child may be struggling with or some things that are going on, that's the important part is how we started. Talk to your child and find out the instructional content that they're working with and contact that teacher. So the next question is, are schools going to be sanitized? I think that sometimes you have to use a bad opportunity for a good opportunity, and I think that's what we're doing. So our schools are being cleaned now. We've got close to a month that we're not going to have school. So our custodians are working now and even trying to do some summer cleaning classrooms, taking out desks, doing some of those over the next couple of weeks, doing some of those summer projects that we have scheduled. The district also is continuing along in what I call our maintenance projects of renovating bathrooms and windows in schools, and all those are going to be expedited a little bit forward. So we're going to use this time wisely. Even our bus drivers, we kind of divided them into thirds. A set of the bus drivers are working with technology to deliver internet. Another third are working with the food service program to deliver meals, and the other third we're going to try to change the tires, change the oil, do some maintenance on our buses that we normally wouldn't. So we're really utilizing this opportunity, and I think that's another example of the foresight and the vision of what we were trying to put together as a plan is how can we use this to our advantage in many different ways. So all those things are happening, but getting back to the question, yes, our schools, matter of fact, I think one of the elementary schools I was at today, the teacher assistants, again, another big thank you for all the work they did.
Yes.
Some of them were in roles today that they've never been in and just really stepping up, and we're sanitizing and wiping down desks today throughout the school. So thank you to them, and those things will happen as we move forward as well. Are those all the questions? That is all the questions, and we almost did this in less than an hour. So I appreciate my colleagues here doing this. I think as we've talked to the administrators and everyone, one of the things that we're trying to do is communicate as much as possible, and this was just another vehicle. I know things are online and people can read, but if you hear someone saying and talking about it, or people get to ask questions, I think that's important. So we'll I don't know, it was kind of fun. So
Yeah, it was
we,
kinda fun.
you know, we tried to,
Very
we tried to add a little humor to it. You know, we're in a serious situation, but we also want to make sure people understand that, you know, we feel that we've got a great plan in place. We're ahead of a lot of people. We still can be better,
Yeah.
and we'll get better day by day, hour by hour. But if you have any questions, make sure you contact us. There's plenty of information out there. Don't be afraid to call the school, call someone. If you know someone who doesn't have internet access or doesn't know where to get some breakfast, lunch, or dinner, make sure you contact someone or call the school or the main office number. Again, we'll post those numbers. Anything you want to leave as?
Well, and we just really appreciate the parents being patient with us
Yes.
as we walk through our way through this process. It has been a huge undertaking,
Yeah.
but I think we've done an excellent job day one, and we're looking forward to the rest of the e-learning days.
And just know if we've missed something, because there's so many details, you know, let us know, because the only way we can fix it is if somebody tells us, and we want to make it as good as possible for all of our community.
Yeah, I think at least once a week we'll do these as a week goes by, and we'll do those kinds of things and bring you up to speed on the different aspects. Anything else, Kyle?
I think that we're just committed to
Yeah.
continuous improvement during this process, and we talked with a lot of administrators, principals, curriculum assistants, and you really did a great job today. We appreciate
did.
all your hard work, and
Bus
we look to
drivers.
continue our instructional continuity.
And I'll leave with thank you, South Florence, Miss Mack, Miss
Yeah,
Taylor,
thank you.
and special children that we have working and making it all work. You know, I know seniors don't like to be called children, but we really appreciate you. This is a great learning experience for them to, you know, do a live broadcast
Yeah.
during this time. Hopefully it'll be something they won't forget, but you did a great job. Our cameraman peeking through there, a little wave there to him. So thank you, everyone. We will get through this together as long as we communicate and work together.
Yes.
And I think we talked about, or I should say, I put on the top of all my agendas before here, it's our time to shine. And I think Florence is really showing people how we can shine and come together to make this this opportunity better for not only our students but our community. And remember, don't forget to patronize our local businesses. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and have a great evening and the rest of the week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.